Frazer Nash race we're having at Goodwood this weekend for the AF Fane race. We're all racing Frazer Nash cars which are chain driven and light and fast, and they were like an Englishman in a shed making a special racing car that would turn up at hill climbs and beat all the great and the good. And my car is called Piglett. It's what they call a special, so it's made up of a variety of Frazer Nash bits with a Model A Ford engine in it, with an overhead valve conversion on it to increase the compression and get more power out of it. And then the transmission system of Frazer Nash also is pretty special because it's chain driven. So the back axle is a solid back axle with sprockets on it with a chain for each gear. And the knock-on effect of that is, of course, it does fantastic skids. And the Frazer Nash gang, really, the chain gang as we call ourselves, we love drifting, really. It's all part of the fun. So in the Frazer Nash race that you see today, you will see a lot of sliding. And hopefully it'll be a great spectacle for everyone to watch. We do a lot of racing. We race with the Vintage Sports Car Club as well, who hold a series of race meetings around the country throughout the year, and a series of hill climbs, and they organise trials as well. So the Vintage Sports Car Club is a very inclusive club for a whole range of pre-war cars, of which obviously the Frazer Nash has to be the best. So the chains are in the back here. I don't know if you can get your camera down here to see those, but it's a solid beam axle with the sprockets on it. So we'll be going out in a bit, and what I need to do now is just sort of warm the engine up a little bit, so I hope you enjoy the noise. So the petrol tank is underneath the car, and in the 20s they hadn't developed petrol pumps yet. So what I'm doing now is I'm pressurising the petrol in the fuel tank, which then blows it up to the carburettors.
Up next, the AFP Fane Trophy, the first ever at Goodwood. And this is for chain-driven early Frazer Nashes. They always go sideways. They are fantastic to watch.
I'm looking forward to this. Yeah. Hand gear changes on many and so on and so forth. Chain-driven. I said that, chain-driven. I mean, it's like nothing I've seen before. There's, 4 chains in the back that
that's right,
change the ratios and the like. I mean, it's fairly complex considering how long ago these were designed. Time as the checker flag comes out then and brings the AFP Fane Trophy boys to, I should say, drivers to a finish.
Pre-war cars can be a little bit brakey, and if you race anything, you're effectively pushing it to the max, and that is going to, if you're going to break a car, take it racing. But actually, I think there's quite a good rate of finishes yesterday. I think 2 or 3 cars broke, which I think have been fixed, so they'll all be out again. My car's still going, the mighty Piglett. So, ace day, did a bit of overtaking, brought it home in one piece. A lot of us lot fix our own cars. We enjoy the fettle as much as the actual race. So for us, the ideal race weekend is to drive your car to the track, do a few races and drive it home again. And if at some point during that day the car breaks down a little bit and you fix it, that's better than just going there and doing it and coming back. The drawback with the Frazer Nash, part of the chain driving system means that effectively you do spray grease and oil all over them. So they are effectively quite filthy cars, really. So generally speaking, a Frazer Nash driver's got dirty fingers, dirty fingernails, but we all enjoy that together. Within the paddock, you'll see different people borrowing tools off each other. You'll see a car with 4 or 5 people, all with their hands underneath the bonnet, all helping each other fix our cars, because there's some camaraderie amongst the chain gang. What we want to see is us all to be able to get out on the grid. Even if you're not in a terribly fast car, you'll find another car to have a dice with. There'll be some exciting battles going on, and it's all just good, clean fun, really. And this weekend, I'm running on some tyres that are more made for standard road cars, and they're lovely and light and precise steering, so you can really drift the car because you know exactly what's going to happen. And that's these tyres here that are very skinny, and they look right as well because cars did have skinny tyres in those days. But then if I was actually in with a chance of winning and I wanted to get a bit more grip on the road, I'd be racing on these tyres, which are quite a bit fatter. So there is, there's a remarkable amount of choice in vintage tyres. But this weekend, it's all about the drifting for me. I'm not going to win. I'm going to the most sideways car. That's a different challenge, isn't it? So let's hope to see some big skids. Normal controls, this is a handbrake. They are outside the car because in the vintage days, having mechanisms like this inside the car was considered dirty. That's your handbrake, and then that's the gear stick, first, second, third, fourth, and then for reverse, I take the little safety clip out here and then slam it over for reverse. I have that in there, so when I'm doing some panicky downward gear changes from third to second, I don't ram it in reverse, which will be quite bad. If you watch a lot of the other vintage cars racing, they have to sort of wait a bit between gear changes, but we've got the advantage of chain driving, it's extremely quick. Big steering wheel to cope with the heavy handling, because it's only 3/4 turn, lock to lock, and you do have to do a lot of steering, because it's quite, the back end kicks out quite a lot, so you are constantly sort of wrestling with it. But the handling is progressive and predictable, which is one of the main joys of a Frazer Nash. You know what's going to happen. So other than that, we'll just hope it goes all right for the race.
They're quite narrow little tyres from that era, of course, and getting heat into them is not a big problem. They will last a good long time. And now we're going to find out who's going to be the fastest on the day and keep it going. Try not to fall off and hope nothing breaks down. So they're all in position. Let's wait to see. Get the green flag from the back of the grid. We are ready to go racing at Goodwood in the 1920s, 1930s Frazer Nashes. The AFN Fane Trophy is underway, and it is Pat Blakeney-Edwards who makes a good start in car number 8 from pole position. He leaps into the lead initially and then launches into the first corner. The bright blue car, that's one to watch as well. That's got the Alvis engine, a bigger engine than some of the others, and it's a car that's had quite a lot of success over the years. So we'll watch that to see how it goes.
Hanging out the left-hand side of the car.
The other thing is, because you're not strapped in like most racing cars, nearly all, but in this era, no seat belts. You're not strapped in, you're not being held in, so you're kind of throwing your weight around a little bit to make sure that you stay in the car and not get chucked out of it.
Suits these cars. It's very fast, it's very traditional, this racetrack. It hasn't changed at all. The only thing that's altered slightly is the chicane that was added some years ago just to slow them down to the extremely fast left-hander onto the front straight here. And if you go off track, the other side of the white line is slippery green, not a nice tarmac green like you get on modern tracks nowadays to save you from indiscretion.
And
we're hearing there's a red flag. We've heard there's a red flag, so obviously there's been an incident on the circuit somewhere. We've got a red flag on our monitor here, so all of these cars will be brought to a halt. So prematurely, the Frazer Nash race has been stopped. We'll wait for an indication as to what that gives us for the future of this race, or whether it will be called a race at this point.
My car worked, it still works afterwards, which is good. It did develop a bit of a misfire, and I was slowing down a bit towards the end, and there were cars catching up and overtaking me that I kind of would normally have stayed in front of, but So I've got quite a bit of fettling to do before next weekend, find out what the cause of the problem is. Hopefully something simple like a spark plug, but you know, we'll see. We'll have a bit of a tinker this week. Great event Goodwood have put on here. What a fab place! What a fab place, and what a fab bunch of people organised the race for us. So what an ace place Goodwood is. You know, what a fantastic place to have an event like this. It's so evocative with all these old stalls for your cars to go in, and they've organised a great event for us and looked after us all really well. So you know, well done Goodwood. Thanks for having us.